Good morning. This is your 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. Continuing to see mostly sunny conditions out there this morning, as well as some slightly breezy and cold conditions as we still see those peak winds up close to 24 miles per hour. We'll continue to see those diminish as we move through the day today. Currently, our temperature around 30 degrees, as we do expect to get above freezing today. Should see fairly quiet weather as we move through the day, with those, again, winds lightning through the day. And then we'll see our next weather maker move into the area this evening. That's going to bring some snow showers into the local region for early Saturday morning. If we take a look at the current surface analysis, we have this high pressure in control over the eastern part of the country. It's going to briefly move through the area ahead of this area of disturbed weather, being fueled by this area of low pressure to the south. This low pressure is going to track along the Gulf Coast and then up the southeast coast and just south of the local Wallops area. And it's going to bring this precipitation field through our region as it makes that track. And that's going to bring that snow shower activity through the region, mainly as we get past the midnight time frame this evening. And then it'll quickly move out of here and we'll see high pressure building in behind it. Looking at our upper level winds from this morning's sounding, had northwesterly winds through much or pretty much all of the column this morning. Winds 20 to 30 knots through much of the column, and then getting above that as we get up into the higher levels. And our peak wind today was 102 knots at 25,000 feet, and the freezing level this morning was at the surface. If we take a look at the current visible satellite, still seeing those high clouds gradually building into our region, and that will continue as we move through the day today. Mostly high clouds through our working hours, and then we'll start to see some mid-level and eventually low-level clouds as we get later into the evening time frame. If we look at the high-resolution model here, we'll see how things are expected to play out as we move through the next several days. Again, dry weather expected to prevail today. We'll see that pressure gradient loosening up a bit as we move through the day as high pressure kind of takes control over the local area. That's going to gradually decrease those peak winds as we move through the day. But again, dry weather continuing until we get into the evening time frame. Again, additional clouds will be building in as we move through the day, mainly high and then eventually mid and lower clouds as we get into the late evening time frame. And then moving past the midnight time frame, that's when we'll start to see those snow chances moving into the area. As you can see here, looks like, again, just after midnight, we'll start to see some light snow moving in and could see a few moderate snow showers embedded within some of this light snow activity, with the rain snow line looks to set up just south of the Wallops area, and that looks to continue to be the case as we move through the morning hours of Saturday. But with that mixed line just to our south, can't rule out a chance of some light rain or maybe a wintry mixing in as we get mainly towards the sunrise time of Saturday. We'll see some lingering light snow or mixed precipitation as we start the day on Saturday, but then that will pull away as that area of low pressure starts to pull out. Behind that, we'll start to see some slightly breezy conditions as that pressure gradient briefly tightens up over the local area, but we will start to see breaks in the clouds and eventually becoming partly cloudy later in the day, and gradual clearing as we go through the overnight time frame. If we zoom out and look at the longer term forecast here, we'll see that area of low pressure continuing to move away from the region and high pressure building in as we move into Sunday. So that's going to gradually reduce those slightly breezy conditions Saturday afternoon and evening, and we'll see decreasing winds with clearing skies continuing into our Sunday. And overall looks dry and slightly milder for Sunday, and that continues as we move into Monday as well, with slightly milder conditions, still slightly below average for this time of year, but continue with dry conditions over the next several days, as we'll see on the modeling here. We'll see a dry, cold boundary pushing through as we move into Tuesday and Wednesday. As you can see, that pressure gradient tightens once again behind that front. Going to bring once again some well below average temperatures and a continuation of some colder and breezier conditions once again into the local area, similar to what we saw the past several days looking to set up over the local area once again. But right now it looks like we won't see any precip outside of this evening for the extended forecast here. So if we look at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, expecting green conditions as we move through our working hours today. We'll see our high temperature up into the mid-30s, topping off around 36 degrees this afternoon. We'll see those winds gradually decreasing, with our peak winds dropping down to 17 to 15 knots as we get into the afternoon time frame, and then continue to decrease and not as gusty as we go into the evening time frame. Gradually we'll see those high clouds building into the area, and then likely start to see a ceiling develop at or below 12,000 feet as we pass the 5 p.m. or 1700 local time frame. Moving into the evening, we'll see our low early on around 28 degrees, and then we'll see our temperatures sitting right around 30 to 32 degrees as we move through the overnight time frame, when we get to that snow activity moving into the area again. Maybe a few flurries prior to midnight, but a bulk of the precipitation will move through after midnight, and again, mainly light snow with a chance of a few moderate snow showers mixing in with that, and we'll see those winds 5 to 10 knots through the morning time frame. Again, temperatures 30 to 32 degrees, and overall with this system expecting 2 to 4 inches of accumulation here at Wallops, and kind of opposite of what we saw with the last system. We'll see less in the way of accumulation at points north and northwest. So as you get up north of Salisbury or around the Salisbury area, we'll see less in the way of accumulation, with maybe slightly more accumulation to our south on the Virginia eastern shore. So we pick up that red risk for precip as we pass the midnight time frame. That continues through the morning, and then we do have an orange risk for those reduced ceilings and visibilities with that snow activity moving through, likely seeing some reduced ceilings and visibilities with that. Again, we'll have a chance of maybe some light rain or wintry mixing in, particularly as we get towards the start of the day on Saturday, but overall should remain an all light snow event. Our tides are running about a foot below normal at this time. Saturday we'll start off with an orange risk for precip and a yellow risk for reduced ceilings and visibilities, mainly with any lingering light snow or wintry mix, and that should move out of the area as we get past the 10 a.m. or 10 local time frame, and then we'll see again start to see a break in some of the cloud cover, eventually becoming partly cloudy as we get later in the day and into the evening time frame. Not expecting much in the way of additional accumulation with those lingering light snow showers. And again, we'll start to see some slightly breezy conditions as that low pulls away and that pressure gradient tightens. So we do have an orange risk for those winds that are above 25 knots, as we will see a decent chance of a period of a wind advisory being issued during the afternoon time frame tomorrow. We'll see our actual high around 37 degrees, so that will help potentially some of the precipitation or snowfall melt as we get above freezing. Going into Saturday evening, we'll drop down below freezing once again, with a low expected around 24 degrees. Overall, partly cloudy to mostly clear. Might have some slightly breezy conditions early, but not expecting a wind advisory through that time frame at this time. And we'll see a slight chance of some patchy fog along the snow-covered surfaces as we move through the early morning hours of Sunday. And then Sunday, we'll see mostly sunny, still on the chilly side with the high of 39 degrees, but we'll mostly sunny and above freezing temperatures. That will help to melt some of this snowfall that moves through this evening, as well as some of the lingering snowfall from the last system that moves through, and overall expecting green conditions for our weather risk. As we look at the extended forecast here, we'll stay fairly moderate, close to average for this time of year on Monday, with a high of 42 degrees and overall mostly sunny to partly cloudy conditions. Back into the 20s overnight, and as we get into Tuesday, we'll see a drop off in some of those temperatures with a high of 36 degrees as a front starts to push through the area. Again, that front looks to be dry and just a push of some colder air into the region once again. And then that trend continues as we move into Wednesday, with temperatures struggling to get above freezing for Wednesday and right around freezing for Thursday, and our low temperatures back in the upper teens. And we'll see slightly breezy conditions for Tuesday, even breezier for Wednesday, and looks like we'll continue to see some slightly breezy conditions possible as we move into Thursday. But overall, dry weather expected in the extended forecast as we get past the low pressure system this evening. That's going to wrap up the 10 a.m. daily weather briefing. We'll be back again on Monday at 8:15 and 10 a.m. and we'll be issuing our latest winter weather product later this afternoon, which we can find on our website. Have a good day.